A dozen officers were injured and several arrests were made in Kalgoorlie, Western Australia, after riot police were forced to move in when a protest over the death of an Aboriginal teenager turned violent. Car and building windows were smashed and courthouse staff were evacuated. About 200 protesters gathered outside the courthouse this morning ahead of the expected appearance of a 55-year-old man who has been charged with manslaughter over the death of 14-year-old Elijah Doughty. The boy was riding a stolen motorcycle on Monday before a crash involving the bike and the man's utility. Police said the stolen motorbike was linked to the charged man. Officers made several arrests during the demonstration as protesters tried to force their way into the courthouse, which was placed in lockdown. Acting Commander Daryl Gaunt said officers were vastly outnumbered by the crowd, and most of those injured had suffered cuts and abrasions from rocks and bottles being thrown. One had required stitches. He said all staff and magistrates at the court had been removed to the adjacent police station during the riot after missiles were thrown at the courthouse. 5 police cars were damaged, as was one local business. He said local elders had been very supportive of police actions. Several people had been arrested and more arrests were expected. Commander Gaunt said a total ban on takeaway alcohol sales had been implemented in the city ahead of an expected vigil tonight to commemorate the dead boy. He said Facebook posts about the incident had been disgusting and racist and had absolutely inflamed the situation, but he played down suggestions racism played a role in the child's death. There is nothing to suggest at all that it's a racist issue. It's the death of a child who happens to be Aboriginal.